Support WrestleTalk!
Order a t-shirt.
This time last year, it seemed like SmackDown Live could do nothing wrong. AJ Styles and John Cena had a classic match for the WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble, the company was building towards Elimination Chamber, and the Viper and the Family storyline was one of the most compelling angles in the whole company. Even before that, you had a wonderful three-way feud between Styles, Dean Ambrose, and James Ellsworth. Over on Raw, they were struggling to keep people's attentions as their main event scene of Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, and Chris Jericho had become horribly repetitive and very stale. Things were so bad for Raw and so good for SmackDown that the joke on WrestleTalk's SmackDown Live reviews was the lowest possible score was Raw. But something happened last year. All of a sudden, there was a change in the air. Raw suddenly became must-see TV with the rise of Braun Strowman, the reign of Brock Lesnar, and guys like Samoa Joe stepping up their game. We had Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose's rekindled friendship and the eventual reunion of The Shield. Alexa Bliss was killing it in the women's division, save for that one Bayley segment, and there was a lot of hype around Nia Jax and the debuting Asuka. While the Jason Jordan storyline got off to a bad start, it found its feet and he became a wonderfully compelling three-dimensional character. SmackDown, on the other hand, didn't really feel like the same show it was in 2016 and early 2017. After WrestleMania, WWE held a superstar shakeup that saw Dean Ambrose, The Miz, Bray Wyatt, and Alexa Bliss move over to Raw, while SmackDown got Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, The New Day, Charlotte Flair, and, importantly, Jinder Mahal. A couple of months later, the Jinder Mahal experiment began, with the modern-day Maharaja winning the WWE Championship from Randy Orton, and then going on a very lengthy title run with several uninteresting rematches with the Viper. Though I did enjoy the Punjabi prison, and of course that lousy feud with Shinsuke Nakamura. The mid-card was filled with Shane McMahon's involvement with the lackluster bout between Kevin Owens and AJ Styles for the United States Championship, and the company had you believe that Lana could possibly win the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. The only saving grace for SmackDown Live was the New Day vs Usos feud, resulting in some spellbinding pay-per-view matches. There was also the Fashion Files, but that was so good it led to absolutely nothing and didn't create any new stars. While the tag team division was dominated by two teams, and only two teams, the women's division was one element of SmackDown that really took a nosedive in the latter half of 2017. Naomi won the belt at WrestleMania, lost it to Natalya at SummerSlam, who dropped it to Charlotte just before Survivor Series. But can you name any captivating feuds or great matches over the belt? And what about the rest of the women on SmackDown? Well, they became background to whatever women's segment was taking place that particular week. The SmackDown women standing in a row gag comes from the fact it seemed that SmackDown Creative couldn't think of anything to do with them other than have them appear backstage standing in a row. Remember the Elimination Chamber 2017 when SmackDown had 3 different women's matches on the card because there were 3 different stories going on at the same time? Now they only get 1 segment a week and they're usually all involved in it. So what happens? It can't just be that SmackDown put too much focus on Jinder Mahal as WWE Champion, because we all thought AJ Styles recapturing the belt would be the dawn of a new era, and that hasn't exactly worked out. This Shane McMahon feud with Kevin Owens has been going on since last summer and it's showing no signs of ending soon, but that's just one part of the show. So it can't be the sole reason SmackDown Live has been lacking. The women's division has felt rudderless for quite some time, and the tag team division, without that New Day and Usos feud, is pretty uninteresting. Even the mid-card seems flat, none of which makes any sense. SmackDown has an excellent main event picture potential with AJ Styles as champion, one of the best mid-cards available, amazing female talent, and some awesome tag teams. Yet nothing seems to be clicking. One person who seems to be taking the flak for a lot of this is the former Road Dogg Brian James. The hashtag Fire Road Dogg started last year when it was reported he had taken over the creators of SmackDown Live, with wrestling fans putting all of the blame squarely at the feet of the DOGG. The rumor was that Road Dogg took over from Ryan Ward, an internet favorite who was head writer on a lot of NXT's great pay-per-views and TV tapings in 2014 and 2015 before being promoted to the main roster with the 2016 brand split. The other rumor is that Ward was taken to Raw with the superstar shakeup because Vince was unhappy that SmackDown was the better show. The problem with this is that, going by research and interviews, none of that is true. true. It is true that Road Dogg got a promotion in January 2017, but Ryan Ward is still the head writer on SmackDown Live, and Vince McMahon is just as involved in SmackDown as he is Raw. Something has happened. Somewhere last year, SmackDown Live lost all of its momentum, and there are times in the last 12 months where the weekly show has been completely missable. Even when Raw is average, there is at least 1 or 2 matches you should find a replay of. Why can't SmackDown have that? There is a strong argument to be made that of the 2 brands, SmackDown has the best roster. But that's not all. They've got Becky Lynch, one of the most beloved babyface female wrestlers in WWE. They've got Rusev Day, which is so over they're reprinting goofy calendars to appease demand. They've got Ty Dillinger's 10 gimmick, a gimmick that transcended his character the same way Daniel Bryan's Yes gimmick did. They had the Fashion Files, which at one point last year was one of the most popular acts in the entire company. Yet Becky seemingly isn't figured into any Mania plans, Rusev Day hasn't been on TV in weeks and has no direction, Ty Dillinger has been all but forgotten about, and the Fashion Files were moved to WWE.com. What happened to SmackDown Live? I don't know. Something needs to change. Has WWE botched the return of Dolph Ziggler? Click the videos on screen right now for more awesome wrestling content.